Hello guys, this is Kathy with Kincaid Special Creations coming to you with our first of our Halloween series. First one is our haunted house. We took 3 small haunted house cutouts that we got from Dollar Tree and then I painted all 3 with the black color, my black being stubborn. So thick I need to put some more water in it, so water it down. 2 is the smaller haunted houses. 1 is the medium-sized haunted house. I just wanted to make a little haunted house scene. So I'm busy painting. I'll be painting the front and the sides and the back and inside all those windows of all 3 pieces of this haunted house. It will be easy to decorate if it's all the same color. I could put some little dry brushing on it, but I'm not familiar with that yet. So now that we've got all the houses painted black, I'm going to go in and start putting on some embellishments. That piece of tulle has little spider web backing on it, and as part of my wreath that'll be coming up in a future video. So I had just this little piece left over, and I thought, well, I'm going to make me some curtains for my haunted house. So I just cut it down to the size that it needs to be, put me a little bit of Mod Podge on the back of it, so that, it'll hold down. Make sure you put your Mod Podge really good around those windows, because that way it makes it set in there. My brush must have been extremely stiff because I could not get that Mod Podge to smooth out like I like for it to do. But I guess it was good because this is that mesh stuff, so you need to make sure you have enough to hold it into place. And I'll do this on all 3 houses, put that little mesh stuff in the back of it. I was surprised that there was that much on a roll of that mesh, and that spider webbing just give it the really authentic something that it needed for these little haunted houses. And then you set it aside and give it probably about 20 minutes to even sometimes as much as an hour to dry real good. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the big one. And these are what they call little rub-ons. They're like little pieces of painted material that you can scrape onto something else. So I'm just looking at my houses to see what I want to put on it, kind of decorating them. And then I'm going to find locations to put these on. You take and cut them out of the piece of paper. Take the white backing off of it. Then any scrape, you can use a popsicle stick, you could use a case knife, or any thing that has a little bit of ridge. I'm just using my little spatula thing that I got with my Cricut tool. But you can buy those at the Dollar Tree store for $1. They're not Cricut brand, but they're the same, made exactly the same, just don't have a Cricut name on them. And then on this other side, I'm putting on a little tombstone. And then when I get that done, I'll make the other side, the other small house, match opposing ways. The 2 small sides are going to go in, or when I get done, they'll be to the outside, and the tall side will be to the inside to make that 3-stage house. But I was lucky I had similar pumpkins on those 2 different things. It's hard to find those rub-ins at Dollar Tree store. But I really like them. Still looking for, they're like little green ivy type stuff. So I'm looking for me a set of those for the spring. So I got some time to wonder whether I can find those or not. They might come back out in the spring. They may just be out there. This process reminds me kind of like that stuff that they do with paint inlays when you're doing furniture. You get your paint. Of course, your paint ain't dry on this, wet on this, but they do the same similar thing. They get their paint wet, put their little inlay down, and then rub on it until the paint transfers. And this basically is a little sticker transfer. but it's not really a sticker. But I've been real lucky because they say sometimes you have to be really careful about putting them down because you can't move them again. But so far I've been real lucky. And when you put them down in there, if something happens and you don't get the whole transfer, just lay it back down in place and keep scratching until you do get the transfer in where you want it to do. So now I've got most of the stuff on the small ones that I want. So now I'm going back in with the big one. The Mod Podge is now dried, so I'm going to go in and cut this tool, the spiderweb tool, off the back of it so it makes it a finished edge on it. That is such a pretty tool, though. I mean, I really like that. That's really good for a haunted house. So now this package of skeletons and words and stuff Timmy picked up for me in Virginia. It's just little wooden skeletons. I thought maybe I could put one of them behind the windows, but they wouldn't show through with that spider webbing. So I decided to put them on top. Note to self, though. Don't trust the little stickers that's on the back of them. Always add you a little bit of hot glue. I had to go back and put hot glue on several of these after the fact. In fact, one of them still needs it put back on there. But you just decorate your house how you want. You don't want skeletons, don't put skeletons on. You don't want spiders, don't put spiders on. But just whatever you have to decorate with, do it to your heart's desire. It's not one size fits all in crafting. It's an inspiration transition. You do what you do to make your DIY yours. Now, if you're going to sell them, that might be a different thing. That's where we're running into now. We're getting ready to try to sell some of these things. You might have to think a little bit different than what you would think because a lot of people like different stuff. But always make what you're comfortable with. If somebody doesn't, put it up in your house. Now you'll notice that as I'm scraping that, the foreground gets, I'll show you that, foreground gets lighter. That means that your sticker is successfully transforming to your under project. And then when it's done, you'll just pick it up and you'll have a clear piece of plastic. There won't be any of that sticker left on it. I really like this. It seems a simple way. I would love to know how to make these myself. You know, the designs that I wanted, not just something I bought from somebody else. So I might do some research on see if you can actually do that at home by yourself. Make something like that. A thought. So now I'm just keeping adding on my decorations. This is another pumpkin on the big house. I think I put one on one side and one on the other. And then I'm looking at that. I think when I pick it up, it doesn't. No, that one gets all the way on. It was the other one that didn't. So now we're just keeping on. I love those little rub-ins. They would be perfect on like a card if you were going to make a card for somebody and you couldn't paint or whatever. Or you was worried about a sticker because when you put them on, they're not going to come back off like a sticker does. There's putting a little bit of bling bling on. And I found a couple ghosts. I thought that would be cool to add to a haunted house. What's a haunted house without a ghost? So I put two. I think I put two on each of the small houses in different areas. One of them I get in there. I think it's that one because I switched that one to the other side. But one of them, that's a bigger one. And then the smaller one looks like he has a bite taken out of his head. You probably can't see it until I get the pictures up. But that one right there on the left of when you're watching it is got a little bite out of his head. Well, I thought that was funny. But I'm just about done getting ready to put a final touch. Oh, I think put the ghosts on this one. So that, you know, I like for it to be at least not matchy-matchy, but representative of each other. Because, you know, makes it a little bit more eye-pleasing. And I really like the way this haunted house turned out. Like I said, when I did my live, it was a quick process because we had been to the beach the week before, so I had to get some projects done real quick. But there you go. There's one little side to the house. And now we're going to try to put them together. And I realized real quick that I needed something a little bit more sturdy on that big one to make it stand up. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, what do I got? Tumbling tower. Of course, I can't do a project without a tumbling tower block. So I went ahead and painted them, and I glued them on. And of course, that second house was just being stubborn. I had to replace that tumbling tower block twice because first I put it on the wrong side, on the front instead of the back, and then I put it on the left side instead of the right side, or whatever. So I had to take it off and put it on the other side. You'll see me realize that I've put it on the wrong sides. I have to take it off and put it on the other side. And there we go. Now we're good to go. I did paint the back, but it's going to be up against that black house anyway, so you're not going to notice it. And now I'll bring the big house in, position it where I want it to go. Sorry I didn't lay this down so you could see it, but it was hard to get this put into place and see it, make sure it looks halfway decent. But I'll show you the final project in here in just a second. And that's where I was telling you that the glue on those little things don't work very well. So I'm putting hot glue to put that on the front of the door so he can be the greeter of the haunted house. And I found a little witch cut out, painted her all black, and stuck her on top of the house like she's flying in. She's ready for dinner. And put a little bit more bling bling on. These were just little white sticker type things, white and black, that I don't even know where I got them, maybe Dollar Tree. And there it is. There's my final project. Thanks for watching. Here is the DIY number 2, my boo sign. It was just the word made out of MDF. Got it at Dollar Tree. It's all together. So I'm going to, first and foremost, I have to take those staples out of the back of it to get that twine off. So I have to go find my screwdriver kit that I got from Dollar Tree in one of my hauls. And I was like, I knew these things were going to come in handy. And they just pried those little well, they ain't little staples, but those staples right out from the back of that. And now I'm going to paint. If only I could paint this fast. This is sped up 8 times because I do from the last one. Y'all didn't want to sit there and watch me paint forever. But I painted the front, the back. Then I painted all those inside lines so that I could have something to hold on to as I was painting. And you need to make sure you get them all. That makes it look like a finished project. So then when you get all the insides of those painted, then you can come along and paint on the outside. And it's it just turned out pretty. You wouldn't think that black would be. This is Waverly ink, by the way. That's the color black I'm using in all of my projects. I don't know that Waverly makes another color black, or even if there is another shade of black. I know there's a black acrylic paints in different folk art, Apple Barrel, stuff like that, Craft Smart, but I don't know that they're that much different from one from the other. But this ink by Waverly covers really good in the first coat. And here's some more of that spider webbing. I had one little piece left over, and I thought, well, I'm going to put this on my boo. So I do it the same way as I did on the houses. I get out my Mod Podge, and I just put a whole layer of Mod Podge on that front side of that, and put that boo on, and then when it dries, cut that outside edge off of it. And it turned out really pretty. And put a little bit of bling and some skulls on this one too. And here is the finished project. Just to set up on your shelf, I do go and put a tumbling tower block on the back of it so it'll stand up. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.